This week's talking point: should fishing be allowed during the Covid-19 pandemic? So, I'll start on this one. So, from my point of view, I think that in terms of getting out and match fishing, I think we're a long way from that. I think people that are sort of saying that we should be doing that are looking at it from a bit of a selfish point of view. Gathering big groups of people together like we do in match fishing. Some venues you're getting 30, 50, 100 people turning up on matches. I think that's very high risk, and I think the nature of anglers wanting to put a lot of things on social media will only see that then get reversed. So if we're going on a big match and we're putting pictures on, look how many people have fished this match, it's sort of shouting out high risk, and putting it all over social media is just a way of basically that then the government potentially looking at it and going, well, maybe fishing isn't as sort of individual as what people perceive it from the outside. I think that if we go fishing and they allow fishing, pleasure fishing is going to be brilliant, like great. I don't see any problem whatsoever, and I think that should definitely be encouraged. I don't see why we shouldn't be fishing, and even fishing matches to a certain degree. But I think we'd be selfish to think matches straight away should be allowed just because of the congregation of people. I think at the moment, I'd just be happy that if they say you can go fishing, but you've got to stay your distance. So pleasure fishing as a whole, I think would be a great win for anglers in general. I don't know what you two think about it.
Shall I go? Yeah, I'll go first. Definitely shouldn't be match fishing. No, I don't even think it's in the equation really. Match fishing just can't happen at the end of the day, can it? It's just like I say, you're meeting up in the morning, you're meeting up afterwards, you got to weigh in. It's just too much. At the end of the day, if we all decided to do it, and well, I think it'd be, let's say it's a selfish thing, and if we all said, yeah, we can go fishing, it's a selfish way of looking at it, really. And at the end of the day, it's only for X amount of time. We don't know how long, it's however many weeks or months it happens. It's not the end of the world, is it? We can't go match fishing. Oh well, it's like, to me, I'm treating it like the old close season. It's the same time, isn't it? Though.
Yeah, it has actually fell at the same sort of
time. So that's all I'm thinking. I'm not like, oh, I want to go fishing. I'm like, oh well, it's one of them things. Touch wood, no one I know's had it and died of it, and that's the biggest. That's what it is, isn't it? People are dying from it at the end of the day. So
yeah, I think you touched on there in terms of. I think there's so many factors around running a match which just puts a lot of people at risk. I think there's a lot of ways where people could reduce that in terms of doing draws sort of electronically through Facebook, for example, but then there's always that question within match anglers: will that then be legit? But if they're doing it live, I can see reasons how it could be done. But there's just so many factors which sort of come into play. The weighing in, for example, that's potentially one person walking along to lots of different people, coming into close contact or close proximity of other people, which is putting somebody at risk. And then they put other people at risk. So from that point of view, I think that matches, there's just a lot of factors which could put people at risk. If the government tomorrow turned around and say you can go fishing, social distancing still applies within this, I think that would be an absolutely massive win for the angling trade. I think a lot of people are sort of seeing it as a bit of, I'm building it up, I'm building up some tokens with the partner, for example, and they'll go fishing a lot. But I think that pleasure fishing would be a massive win for fishing in general.
Yeah, well, I think going back to what you were saying on actually being able to run, I suppose there's sort of two things you've got to: can it be done and should it be done? But I think going back to it'd be the last two matches I fished, which was I think it was a golden reel qualifier at Woodland View, and it was the fish show at Viaduct as well, and that was sort of the last couple of matches they ran where they were doing the draws with social distancing, where it was one person picking out pegs for you and stuff like that. And it sort of works, but it's nothing to do with the venues because they've done everything they could do to make it run smoothly. But I don't know if it's just at the time people weren't taking it as seriously as they are now. But the amount of people that you'd walk up to and shake the hand and like, oh shit, I wasn't meant to do that. Like you just kind of forget about it. And when you're weighing in, you're kind of talking to people and you try and keep your distance. And I think you're just not that strict on yourself. Whether it be a bit different now with obviously it being in the news, you're seeing all the kind of deaths and all that going on with it.
Yeah.
But at the time, it's sort of all the measures that were in place that you could do, but people just weren't quite following it. And
I remember you calling me actually straight after, I think it was the Woodland View, and you said you just got the feeling that would be the last one. You got the feeling that everyone was sort of thinking, we're here, but we shouldn't be here. But you still do because everyone's so into match fishing. They think, and I suppose towards the end of still being allowed out, there was a little bit of, well, this might be my last chance, so I best go because it's my last chance. But you could get that vibe from people that it shouldn't really have been happening that many
times. Was that Woodland View, Golden Reel?
Yeah, the one. Yeah, it would have been Golden Reel.
I might have even booked a ticket, or might not quite go that far. That was at the point I literally thought, this is going to be our last match here. I had it in my mind. I just thought, this is all going to go wrong after this. I didn't bother fishing it. I think I just sort of thought, that's it. I reckon that'll be it for fishing now. And I didn't book. I don't even think I booked a ticket. No, I think I didn't even get that far. I just thought, I can see this all going wrong after this. And it felt a bit strange. I remember seeing people on Facebook saying this just felt a bit weird being there. And the measure was just starting to be put into place, hadn't they? And I think everyone at the match probably thought this is going to be the last one.
I think that's where it dawned on everyone that I think you see a lot of things in the media where they get blown out of proportion. I think for a lot of people, especially at the Viaduct one, where I think I've been working down south all week and sort of kept away from it a bit. And I think everyone was still thinking at the time it might be one of these things that it's going to be a massive deal for a week or two, and then it's not as serious as we thought.
There was still that, it's only a cold shout, wasn't there, at that point?
Yeah. And obviously it's kind of changed into what it is now. But I think the other thing that if you allow, it's not whether sort of pleasure fishing should be allowed. It's sort of the repercussions of what else are they going to have to allow at the same time. So if they allow fishing, how do they kind of choose between which hobbies are acceptable to do and what aren't? And obviously then you're going to be going to a tackle shop, or you're going to be going to a petrol station on your way to the lake. And I think that's the sort of bigger picture a lot of people are not thinking about, probably from a selfish point of view, because you're like, you could quite easily go fishing for a day and not come into contact with anyone if you pick the right venues, go close to home, all this. I think it's no different to going for a walk, but obviously it's then what you're allowing everyone else to do and sort of the bigger picture, which is there's going
to be all them other anglers thinking the same thing as well. That they're going to think, I'm going to go there because there'll be no one there, and suddenly there's 100 of you there because you've all got the same idea.
Yeah, so, I know. Because I've got a river just down the road from us. I've been walking down quite a bit, and for the past few weeks, it's been pretty quiet. Going to like not the dead public bits sort of thing, just old bits of club water that you know are there. And today, walked down it, and it was almost like bank holiday sort of thing, where it's almost everyone's getting bored of it, and they're sort of, it's a nice day, going to go out walking. There's big like groups of people, and you suddenly like. I think that's a problem. As soon as you open the floodgates, it's going to be everyone going en masse. And as you say, those quiet places, you're like, I'll keep out the way there. Suddenly there's 20, 30 other blokes thinking exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's where matches put it at such a big risk. I think, like you say, there's going to be that situation, but I think that's where you sort of use your common sense and you stay a few pegs away from each other. Every fishery should be saying, yes, as and when it is allowed, yes, we're open, but it's not peg for peg, it's every other peg sort of thing. And then they're sort of going further than what they need to. They say whether it is 2 meters, they're going 10 meters, for example, like in terms of your peg. You don't pay when you're not giving us cash, you pay in a different way, sort of thing. And like working that bit out will be for the fisheries to do, but they will have to do different things to just make sure that social distancing, and they're doing everything that they can, because at some point they will allow fishing. We will just have to do everything that we can that we're not sort of flouting it all over social media and look at this, there's a lake call. Because I think that's when then there'll be repercussions if everybody catches wind that there's 100 people all at the same venue. Well, that's when that'll get reported, and then if that gets reported at this venue and then another one at another venue, it'll soon catch up, and there'll be something will happen where they cancel it and stop it again.
That's sort of the point. Obviously, Rob Hughes did that live feed that I think a lot of people got the wrong end of the stick on it. I think everyone got the hopes up expecting him to say, oh yeah, everyone's allowed to go fishing, and everyone kind of went a bit negative on it. But the point he made on if angling, they'll obviously have the angling trusts that are fighting angling's corner. If the government have had nothing but issues with people going fishing when they shouldn't be, and having to like give out fines, all that sort of stuff. If they're almost like angling's just a pain in the arse for them, they're going to be back at the queue. If we can sort of keep everyone on side and playing the game, that when it comes to it, when they do start lifting stuff, obviously we've got probably quite a good argument that you go into out the way places, it's on your own, you're in a decent position. But if you can then go that all anglers have sort of kept to all the restrictions and everything like that, then it does, as weird as it is, and it almost feels like being back at school or something, trying to keep people happy. Yeah, it does help the cause as a whole, I think. So I think that's where it's got to be looked at.
Definitely, like you say, when it got sort of close to the Woodland View, like not necessarily Woodland View, but different venues towards the time before that sort of Monday where everything went into lockdown or semi-lockdown, you are still seeing these things and big pictures of draws, like everyone gathered around and stuff, and that's where you sort of thought, like, you don't want that. You don't want people seeing that on social media. Like, you just want to keep fishing as clean as you can, show it as a sport or a hobby, whatever you want to call it, where you are away from other people and it's as low risk as you can make it look.
That spell, like you say, people drawing and what have you, it was just in that little spell, weren't it? We had probably 2 or 3 matches where, like I say, the big matches, high profile matches. I suppose as anglers we just didn't really know, did we? Like, going to these matches and drawing and all of a sudden you're not supposed to be doing that, and that was it then, really. They weren't even thinking that was it. We all just stopped, didn't we? So yeah, but like I say, there is pictures of draws, like you say, people going in, and it really is only like a handful, like just at the last, that funny little changeover spell, weren't it?
No, tell you really... what, since I've not been drawing my own pegs, I've been sat on like flyers every single week.
Tell you what though, that virtual thing, Simon Jones's kids can draw for me for the future.
That's what I thought. I'll borrow one of them for a few qualifiers, I think. Anyway, Rich, what are you up about? You've only just started drawing flyers.
I had a year, didn't I, where I kind of couldn't draw.
I know.
But the last thought, well, I was next to you at blooming Coleman's, wasn't I, in that news. That was the sort of standard of drawing for a year or two. But yeah, the last 3 matches where it's not been me drawing and someone just passes you a peg, it's just like, right, what was it, like 1-2 at Viaduct, and I think name the peg at Tunnel, and
that Coleman's match, was that the match where you were dobbing for me, telling me where the fish were? Was that that match?
Yeah, I think we both got. Like, I don't. It's probably one of those where if you looked at the rules, I think we should have both been disqualified, but weren't ever winning anything.
I think I was the only one left there at the end, weren't I? Everyone else had packed up, hadn't they? It was just me sat on my own.
Yeah, that's sort of the thing though with them qualifiers, isn't it? You've got to have a bit of a laugh with them, otherwise they drive you mad, don't they?
Definitely, yeah. I've got to that stage now. You do just laugh about it. You go into the bucket, draw some, you know it's absolutely rubbish, and just laugh it off, because otherwise it will send you mental. You got to just go, oh well, another one gone, on to the next.
Definitely, if you don't have that mindset, there's no point really doing them, is there?
No, just wait for your chance to come along. That is.
Yeah. So as a whole, there, I think we've sort of got a similar sort of perspective on that sort of talking points. Matches, wouldn't be too disappointed if that was a bit further down the line, but potentially we can see why pleasure fishing could happen. I think as sort of an overall thing, it's going to all be down to how sensible anglers are, and not sort of showing that, like, how many people are all around the lake and that sort of thing, and just making sure you're sticking to what rules we can, making sure that fishing's seen in a really good light, not a massive hazard, or where they're getting loads of complaints to potentially the government, and that could reverse any decision if it does happen sometime soon. So
well, I think that whole 2 metre rule as well. Some people, like, just walking down the street, you realise how shocking some people are at estimating distance. It's like if you had a top kit in your hand, that's what most of those are, like 1.6, 1.8 metres, aren't they? So you've got to be more than a top kit away from everyone, and you're you walk down the street. The amount of people that are like that far away, and it's like, oh, that's 2 metres in my head. But just carry a top kit at all times. Anyone gets too close, just like poke them out of the way.
Definitely. Right, so we'll round that up there, and just the last little bit is Rich's quick questions.